Well, a lot of topics. I led the show. The Garoppolo to the Patriots, Tom to the Niners. I just don't. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Let's see if Nick Wright does. First things first. Brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing via the Cowherd Global Satellite Network. My argument is even if you did think Brady was better, you would have to, if you're the Niners, draft a quarterback this year. Wouldn't you have to address it? It's the toughest division in the NFL. Nick Wright, you are joining me. What do you even make of the suggestion? Reliable sources are now saying it's a real thing. What say you?
So there's three parties that would have to be interested in this, and I totally understand why two of them would be interested. I have no clue why the third one would be. So the first party is the New England Patriots. I totally understand why they would want to, if they're going to lose Tom, replace him with a guy who has worked with McDaniels, who's been in the system, who is all of a sudden on a very reasonable contract. All the guaranteed money has been paid out. It's $27 million a year for the next 3 years. I get why the Patriots would be interested. Another party who would have to be interested is Tom Brady. Tom Brady, he's from Northern California. They have a great defense. They have an excellent offensive line. They have a great tight end. I get why he would be interested. So now we're 2 out of 2. But the third one is the Niners. And why would the Niners be interested? That's the part I can't wrap my mind around. You've got a 28-year-old quarterback making $27 million a year, coming off the best season of his career, even if I think those numbers are slightly inflated. Why would you want to replace him with a 42-year-old quarterback coming off the worst season of his career who's going to want to make about $27 million a year? So that's the part that where the circle cannot be squared or the square cannot be circled. Like, I can't figure out why the Niners would want to do this, and if they don't want to do this, this has no legs whatsoever. And so I get why for Brady, I get why for the Patriots. I do not understand why for San Francisco. So that's why I can't see this actually coming into fruition.
I like Giannis. I really do. But we have a history here that the better story often wins. I just talked about this on the campaign trail. It's a long campaign. Mayor Pete was just a new story. Write about it. Elizabeth Warren was feisty. I get it. I understand it. It's a long season. But let's be honest. I know the Clippers are boring, and I know Biden's boring, but let me just get to this. LeBron's the better story, the better shooter, the better ball handler, the better passer. He's overcoming a tragedy within the franchise, which is a devastating, never seen before. Isn't LeBron not only the better player, but the better story this year?
Well, sure, it's the better story, and he's the guy I'd rather have than playoffs, and he'd be the better made-for-television movie. But Giannis the MVP, bro. I mean, listen, LeBron should have 7 of them. He's only got 4. It's a little criminal, but this should not be one of his MVPs. Giannis right now is averaging as many points per game as minutes per game. His team's going to win 70. His second-best player, Chris Middleton, is probably the 21st or 23rd best player in basketball. He's the MVP. Now, would I rather have Giannis come to the playoffs? I wouldn't. Do I think you want the best story, Colin? Let me make you feel better about this, okay? Here you go. We've got one ever unanimous MVP in the history of the NBA. LeBron should have been unanimous in 2013, but Gary Washburn voted for Carmelo Anthony. At the time, I didn't know you, but I'm sure it infuriated you as much as it did me. But the one unanimous MVP ever was Steph Curry.
Yeah.
He was on a 73-win team. And the real best player in basketball finished that season by beating him to steal the title from him. What if we have a second ever unanimous MVP on a 70-win team? It's Giannis. And that season ends with the real best player in basketball stealing the title from him, with LeBron winning the title in LA. That's how I think this thing goes. I think the Lakers win the title. I think LeBron is still the guy you would most want to have in April, May, and June. But I have to give Giannis his credit. He is putting up the highest PER ever on a team that's going to win 70. Everything is built around him. He might be the best defensive player in the league. He deserves the MVP. even if he is not the story. But my God, I missed it earlier. If you found a way to get Pete Buttigieg into the NBA MVP conversation, that's why we're all playing for second place against you, bro.
Yeah,
I can't believe it.
Yeah, I kind of messed that up. It was actually my Clippers story, but I get into this politics. Super Tuesday. I started the show today.
I know. Yeah, Super Tuesday, man. You're a political junkie. I'm with you. I know. This will be in the fourth hour of the show. You and I will give our picks for the Dem nomination. I don't know if we have time right now.
So Zion takes on Luka tonight. Here's an interesting thing. Rules dictate a lot of players' careers. Back in the early 2000s, the NBA said no more hand checking. Suddenly, guards started winning MVPs. Nash 2 times, the Westbrooks, the Derrick Roses, the Steph Currys, because you couldn't hand check. You can't stop these guys. In the NFL, the no catch in the NFL became a catch. And and you can't hit receivers over the middle. Suddenly now it's a quarterback wide receiver league. They were icing on a cake for most of my life. Very interesting thing happening with Zion. In February, led the NBA in free throws per minute. The NBA has made a decision very early on Zion. All this contact, it's not you. It's the opposition. It's becoming Karl Malone, who scored almost 10,000 points at the free throw line. You can be a critic of Zion, but the NBA officials have already established this contact with Zion, which is virtually impossible to avoid, is against you, not Zion. And I think it ensures a massive NBA career. Are you aboard the Zion train already?
Oh, absolutely. And by the way, 1211 Avenue of the Americas, New York, New York, is the address of the office. I'm accepting written apologies from all my media colleagues that mocked me last year when I said Zion was a top 25 player in the NBA when he wasn't even in the NBA.
Yeah, you did.
Last year, when I said Duke could win a few games against an NBA team because they would have the best player on the court. Here's the other part. Let me further your era analogy a bit. The other element of why Zion is being so successful has to do with the same type of reasoning why the 2018 Patriots won the Super Bowl. Belichick looked around and said, everyone's going fast. Everyone is putting a nickel corner on the field. What if I go fullback, running game, tight ends, and punch you in the mouth? Zion didn't look at this. It just happened. But the whole league is like, Steph, Trey, small, shooter, fast, light. And Zion's like, how about just big, strong, terrifying? You got the people for it? You don't. And so there's two teams in the league that can kind of match up against him. Milwaukee and the Lakers, because they're so big. And by the second time he played the Lakers, he dropped 35. Because there is no answer for raw strength, raw athleticism, raw power. And the human body has not evolved in a way that people are ready to deal with Zion. So yeah, I think he's coming along at the exact right time. And when the whole league is zigging, he is a giant zag to your throat, and there's no answer for it. So yeah, anyone that says, I don't know about Zion, I don't know what you're seeing. Is his game perfect? No. Does he need to add a jump shot? Sure. Are there different flaws? Yeah. But if he never improves, he's 24 a night on 55%. You know what we call that? A Hall of Famer. That's without getting better, and he will get better.
By the way, you're not a big Clipper fan. I am. I think they're going to win. I think they're the best team, and I think they check all the boxes. Frank Vogel doesn't have a title. Guy in Milwaukee got no titles. That matters. I like Doc's got a title. Just sum up, because you like the Lakers, sum up your number one concern for the Clippers, because you're just not as high as I am on them.
Well, I mean, I think one of the reasons I'm not as high on them as many other people is because I have the misfortune of I've actually watched all the games. And it's like, oh, wait, they're good. I mean, they're not great. They're good. You mentioned Doc Rivers. Yeah, listen, the legendary coach Doc Rivers, who hasn't been to a conference final since Kevin Garnett was on his team a decade ago. So he's had some good teams. Chris Paul's there. Blake Griffin was there. It seems a little interesting to me. The devastatingly consistent playoff performers on the Clippers, other than Kawhi, like Paul George, who I think the last time we saw him in an elimination game, I think it was like 2 for 18, but we don't talk about that. We just blame Russ. Reggie Jackson, tirelessly committed to winning. I just don't see it. The Clippers are going to be this great defense. They're finally healthy. You're seeing what they can be, like allowing 130 points to Shake Milton and the third team Sixers. Little concerning. And then it's like, well, they have all these guys who can guard LeBron. That is true, which is why if the 2018 Cavs had to go through the Clippers, they might be in trouble. But it's the 2020 Lakers. And while the Clippers have a surplus of guys who can stop LeBron, they're going to be relying on Ivica Zubac to stop Anthony Davis. I don't think that's going to work. So we'll see. The Clippers have been a good team that at times have been an excellent team, and if they are fully healthy, they're dangerous. But I have no reason to believe they're fully healthy, and I have no reason to believe they can stop Anthony Davis. And by the way, you were mentioning Zion. I'd like to congratulate Zion Williamson, who 15 games into his career is evidently able to do something Kawhi Leonard's not able to do 9 years in, which is playing a back-to-back. So credit to Zion. He's already on his way. Kawhi maybe gets there around year 12, 13, but I'm just not buying into the Clippers, Colin.
Your confidence is impressive. I mean, he really is going all in on this. The well-coiffed, smartly appointed Nick
Thanks.
Wright. Good to hearing you on radio all week in the afternoon slot on XM Sirius. He does a great job. Thank you, Nick. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.